So, welcome. And it's great to have everyone here. There are a lot of distinguished people, and I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to try to acknowledge a few of you, okay? So we're delighted, of course, to have the mayor. We'll be hearing from him in a few minutes. And we have Alderman Joanne Thompson and also Alderman Tony Folks. Thanks so much for being with us. We have Commissioner Charles Williams from Streets and Sand. We also have with us, I don't think Brian is here. Brian Trauber was coming to the Park District. I haven't seen him yet. Of course, we have our principal of Mike Byer here of this wonderful school, who's provided such extraordinary leadership. Joe McCarthy, I have to single out Joe because he's the senior city forester. He's also been one of our faculty with our tree keeper program since its beginning 22 years ago. He's been a great partner. And of course, Jeff Bartow, we'll be hearing from Jeff in a few minutes, who's executive director of the Southwest Organizing Project. And I know I missed others, but most importantly, we have the students and some of their parents and even the people. And that's our great hope. This is the future. And Openlands is 50 years old this year. We work in a 3-state metropolitan area, but at the heart of this region is Chicago. We love the city. We've been involved in neighborhoods throughout our entire history. And over 24 years ago, there were some real problems here. Dutch elm hit in a big way. A previous mayor didn't support urban forestry. Professional people left, and we were really concerned. Things started to change, and when trees were being planted, again, we said, we want to make sure that they're maintained. And we knew what happened in LA. They planted 1 million trees for the Olympics. They didn't water them, they didn't mulch them, 2/3 of them died. So we formed Tree Keepers. It's now 1,600 people strong, taught by tree care professionals from the Bureau of Forestry, from the Park District, Morton Arboretum, tree care industry. And we have been doing good stewardship of our urban forest for all these years. But we've got a new crisis now, and that is Dutch elm. If you look, I'm sorry, excuse me, emerald ash borer. If you look up and down the street right here, in fact, the trees are about to die. And some are being inoculated, but 19% of our street trees are ash. And so Openlands, our core belief is that nature is vital to all people, and that we want to connect people to nature where they live. Well, what better connection is there than a tree in front of your school or your house, along the streets? I mean, trees do so much to improve our environment in every way. I mean, they clean our air, they reduce noise, they conserve energy, especially in the summer. When you're under a tree, you realize how it works. They absorb stormwater and prevent flooding. They provide habitat. There's so many benefits that are such kind of green infrastructure benefits, but there's such human benefits too. They reduce violence. They give us a connection to nature in such a powerful way, and improve the quality of life in our neighborhoods. So we're very lucky to launch now a major new tree planting initiative. While we've done some tree planting in the past, it's been relatively limited. Last year we actually did 800 trees, that was huge. But thanks to the MacArthur Foundation and with support from the Boeing Company, we're launching a major new initiative today with the city and the Park District to plant 5,000 trees in this first phase. This is really strategically focused because we know it's not just getting trees in the ground, it's caring for those trees. And that's the critical thing, is making sure that the community is involved, that they know why it's happening, that they are part of that planning and long-term stewardship, the maintenance of those trees. And so we're so fortunate to have worked here with the principal and leaders and the community at Morel to put in this garden. Just explaining to the mayor, it's going to be expanded, this whole campus, a wonderful partnership with the city, Chicago Public Schools, and the Water Reclamation District. Creating a wonderful green environment for students, a new park for the neighborhood, but also addressing issues of the heat island that we have in this neighborhood and the serious flooding issues that are here. So it's a really multi-pronged approach, and it's coupled with our tree planting efforts throughout the neighborhood and working at the community level, developing new community gardens and green spaces. We can't do that without partnerships, and we have a very, very strong partner here and that's SWAP, Southwest Organizing Project. And you know they're a great organization. They were just singled out this year by the MacArthur Foundation with their very prestigious award for creative and effective institutions. This is kind of the genius grant for organizations. I mean, it's pretty impressive. A handful around the world get this. They did, because of the fine work that they're doing with all of you who live in this community. So I'd like to invite Jeff Bartow, who's the executive director, who's been in that position since 2002, to say a few words. And I want to thank him for his wonderful partnership.
Thank you, Jerry. I'll be brief, but you know, this is a neighborhood, particularly this area, that was right at the center of the foreclosure crisis in 2008. And it's so powerful to see the resilience of people who are coming together and figuring out ways to reclaim our community, to turn a neighborhood into what a community is, where people are connected. So to be able to have allies and partners like Openlands and like the city of Chicago, the micro-marketing recovery program includes this area, and it has enabled us to work fast-track in our efforts to make sure homes are taken up to code. There's still a lot of work to do, a lot of work. But efforts like this and partnerships like we have with Morrell School are what will make the difference. We know we can't bring back housing by working on housing alone. It requires similar efforts with schools. And at Morrell, they're great students. We've worked together for 5 years. Extraordinary parent mentors. Connect school and community, and a tremendous administration. So they model the kind of partnerships that we're seeking to build. I would simply end by saying we have the opportunity to keep going forward, keep building back, and show not only the rest of Chicago, but the rest of the U.S. what an urban community can really look like. So thank you very much.
Work with you. What Jeff just described is what our mayor gets. I mean, we know that there's some iconic projects that he's been behind. 606, the Bloomingdale Trail, it's going to be spectacular. A new focus on the Chicago River with the new boathouses and all the energy and expansion of the trails and so forth, phenomenal. But just Monday, he announced a major new initiative, and this is Green Stormwater Infrastructure Fund. So it's $50 million over 5 years to really think about how we can get stormwater into the ground and not into the sewers. And one of the ways is planting trees and bioswales and other kinds of things that this community is about to undertake, including busting all that concrete that you have around your school, making this a livable place, an inviting place for children, for their families, and for neighbors. You know, we're painfully aware of dysfunction in Washington. They've shut down. I guess we can't change that. But we have a mayor who never shuts down and who understands the challenges and the opportunities to make this the most livable city in the world. Yes, certainly in America, if not the world, I'd argue. And then part of that is the quality of life related to the environment. I happen to chair his Nature and Wildlife Committee, and that's pretty unusual for a city to even have one in the first place, but really understanding the important role that nature plays in our lives, the economic, the social, and the environmental benefits of that. And so we're really honored to have the mayor with us today as we launch this very ambitious tree planting program with communities such as Chicago Lawn and ultimately around the city. And please join me in extending a warm welcome and a great round of applause.
Jeff and Jerry had told me that it was going to be khaki pants and blue blazers. I would have worn my outfit with my uniform. Like the kids have a school uniform. Do I need this? Are you guys okay without this? Or you want it? Okay, I need. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you all. See how this is the city. Council, Alderman Folks and Sayers, also Alderman Thompson, who have been great supporters of what we're trying to do. I want to, before I start, make a few points that Jeff brought up, because while we're here to talk about obviously planting and sustainability in the whole community, that is not just on the environmental side, it's on the economic side too. And nothing is more important than what Jeff said in such a few points I would like to draw. One, if this great school continues to succeed, it has what I call always the magic secret sauce. The principal clearly ready to be accountable for the results. Teachers that, as I just saw, who will inspire children, and what I see here, parents that are involved. You do that, and every school in town, I don't care where that child's from, I don't care their background, a teacher that will motivate them, a parent that gets involved like I've seen here, a principal that says, I want to be held accountable. You put those three things together, and every child will be and achieve what I've set out for Chicago. We're going to be, it's defined in the public or popular domain as an environmental policy, but to be economically sustainable, it means that both schools, public transportation, libraries, streetscape, all the things in parks that go into giving a quality of life so both families and businesses can thrive. That is what is sustainable. And only on the public sector is confident when Washington does what Washington's doing, which is show how not only irrelevant but how broken they are. But only in the public sector can you make the investments in the library, which we just did the other day by giving every child who has a library card 24/7, 365 days a year, free tutoring on their school. Not only in the public sector can we do a mass transit system or a public transportation system that allows people to get from home to work where the jobs are, whether it's in the city or outside. Only in the public sector can we do and make sure that we have the type of schools that we need for our children to go on to college and later life, whatever profession they pick. And that is what gives the community the sustainability and what we talk about economic sustainability. And on the housing side, which is essential, we did some things under President Obama that were essential, but not going far enough to get us home, because we know when one home forecloses, every home on that street could be $10,000 in economic value. And we got to get every home that was forced off and get the families back in those houses. That is how we do it. This is, as me, part of that sustainability is a quality of life. When we're done, the next 5 years, every playground in the city of Chicago will be totally rebuilt. We're now developing over 150 acres in the city of Chicago in a sense of redeveloping the acreage and bringing those parklands on. More, that's the equivalent, just so you have a sense, of 5 new millennium projects. 5 years from now, every child will live within a 7-minute walk of a new park in the city of Chicago. And every home, so you get it, every home that's next to a new park is 20% greater in value than if it wasn't next to that park. And that is economic. I'm going to be quick because I know I can't sit still, so I know that I'm testing everybody's limits. We just finished, which is why Charlie's there, and he has to report to me every week. We just finished inoculating 37,000, close to 38,000 trees from Emerald Ash, and planting another 3,500 throughout the city. One of the largest endeavors that these two aldermen voted on in the budget when we passed it, to make sure that what we're doing today doesn't stand alone with 5,000. Everything else we're doing on Emerald Ash. And the biggest thing we did, usually cities today meet the city or the federal or state standard on sustainability and stormwater. I, as a former congressman, as well as mayor, have seen too often people have flooded basements and their lives get turned upside down. The electricity gets turned off and then they have to throw the food away. It is a huge economic hardship. So this, just for an hour, and then I got to give it back. You think I do this speech at night for nothing? That's the signal you better get off the stage. Yeah, I'm the mayor and I'm going to be quicker than you. Which is, you know what? We're going to put $50 million into sustainability to stop all the flooding in everybody's basement throughout the city of Chicago. It is the largest investment in the history, $10 million a year for the next 5 years. So communities like this, people do move back in the home. They don't move in where there's 3 feet of water down in the basement. And that's making both what we do as a family, what we do as a community, what we do in helping homeowners on a sustainable level. Chicago, once again, is a show that we're the city in the garden. Thank you.